welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last episode, making an EVA foam Predator Gauntlet Part 2, we completed the build. You saw us put on the double forks on the front, you saw us do the whole blade assembly, and we embedded a brass dowel in the blade so it's not wobbly, and you saw us rock out all the little details across the top. Like we said, 98% Predator, boom, 2% you. Make up whatever you want for those. But you know what that means. Since we completed it, that means in this episode, making an EVA foam Predator Gauntlet Part 3, we're going to seal it and paint it. And it's going to be a super easy paint job, easier than the build. And the build was pretty darn easy. All right, if you're ready to hit it, let's make something. Okay, we're out at the spray stand. We're going to coat our gauntlet. Do not spray without your respirator, even outside. All right, there we go. Look at that, covered with several layers of Plastidip. Now we can come in and take off our tape that was covering our Velcro. And over here. There we go. All right, look at that. Just take your time. You got to hit it from a lot of different angles. Put nice, even layers on until you build it up. That is sealed in black rubber. All right, there we go. Velcro is protected. Because this is the world of making your own props, you can change colors to whatever the heck you want to change them to. Most of the images you see of the Predator's Gauntlet, it's all metal. But when we built it, we were using two different kinds of foam. We were using foam that was smooth on both sides, which is all black, and we were using the gray floor mat foam, and I really liked the way that it looked when the floor mat foam pieces were gray. It was very cool. All of a sudden the thing started looking a little bit military, a little bit titanium-ish, a little bit Batman. But I know this is the Predator's Gauntlet, so you could paint the whole thing silver if you wanted and weather it up. We're gonna paint it to be more Batman. We're gonna paint it gray in some areas and leave a lot of the black. Has a cool, ominous look to it that way. All right, we're gonna come in with our medium gray. Okay, now we've talked about this before, where sometimes the acrylic paint acts a little squirrely on the foam, and sometimes it almost acts a little bit oily, and you have to get a layer down first and then you have to go back over it with a second layer. That happened to us when we were doing the Fortnite pickaxe. We ran into that with the orange, where we had a lot of trouble with the orange, and we had to really start heavying it up and building multiple layers to get it to finally cover. Now this, for some reason, this foam on the end is handling semi-nicely, but as you can tell, it's not covering completely. There's streaks in it, and the side is definitely handling kind of funky, where it's not getting a good, smooth coverage. So we basically put on one base layer first. So we're going to put a base layer all the way around, and then after it dries, we'll come over and go the opposite direction, and that'll start to fill it in. All right, now, as you can tell, we're not taping anything off, because we should be able to use the square edge of our brush like we're doing right here and get right up to the edge of things without needing to tape. All right, now look at the difference in this section and these two sections. You can see all the brush strokes in here because that was the first layer. Here we put a second layer down. It's much more flat and solid. All right, there we go. We've got, I don't know, maybe 3 coats on there. And the gray filled in nicely. There's got a couple itty bitty tiny little spots up underneath some things I got to touch up with black, but very few. Look at that. Just take your time, use your brush, go this direction, then for your second coat, go the opposite direction, then for the third coat, back to the other direction, or you could even go on an angle, but just change directions each layer, and it fills in nicely. All right, we're gonna come in with a little bit of black, little itty bitty spots right there. There's a little bit on the blade here. Just like that. There's a real faint one right there. Very cool. Sealed and painted, and it looks good. Really simple paint job. And you also saw we strayed from the original color of the Predator's Gauntlet, but what the heck, man, it's my prop. I can paint it however I want, and it's gonna be your prop, so you paint your props however you want. We built it out of black and gray foam, and when we saw how that looked, we said, ooh man, that's what we're doing. We're gonna paint it the same color because it looks very ominous, looks a little military, and looks a little Batman. So there you have it. Turned out great, and the thing is so cool. So that concludes making an EVA foam Predator Gauntlet Part 3. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.